Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome back to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. Now, I'm almost over that gold. It did cost me almost 2 weeks, and just to feel like I'm close to 100%. My voice, it's doing okay. It's not 100% back just yet, but we're almost there. So yeah, just a few more days of rest, I think, another good weekend, and I think I'll be right back at 100%, able to do everything I want when I want it. The videos have been a little bit shorter because of me being just a little sick, but we are here for the market, of course. Let's jump right in. The ticker is pretty interesting, practically everything down except for Caldari fuel blocks, which have then gone up substantially. So let's start off with plex here, and pretty much 1 minute. Plex 814, they were 813, I think, just 811 even, just a minute ago. So there is some buying and some selling going on. There's a lot of activity, I guess, with FanFest coming closer, with the 07 show announcing a lot of FanFest related stuff. We might see some more activity here. What I thought was pretty interesting was the new skinning system. So they would actually make a skin character bound instead of ship bound, so you can't just lose it anymore. Interesting change. It's how most ships do it, and I think it could actually put a lot of people over the threshold to actually invest some real life money or some plex into ARM and then into that new skinning system. So maybe a reaction on that is to be expected, but right here though we see that plex is actually staying within the 800 to 820 million band, so nothing too drastic to report there just yet. At the moment I would say it's just, yeah, people buy plex because it's finally not close to 1 billion anymore, and it looks like they can actually purchase those plex at the moment. But a lot of other people are also saying that well, it's okay to sell plexes for 815 million, something like that. And as you can see, supply is there as well, and so for now it actually looks decently sideways, which is pretty good news, I think, for people that want to plex their accounts or plex an alt or something like that. Let's move on to minerals. It's really not 100% just yet, but alright. Here we go for titanium. Look at that, pretty interesting after that plateau going down a little bit to 40 right here at the tail end. So that's actually a little bit, if we look at that data point, yeah, 605, something like that. The actual prices 605 for the buyers, 613 for the sellers. A billion units here, a billion units here, almost a billion there, almost a billion there. So supply demand is still doing okay if you make abstraction of some of these bigger, older orders, like 87 days, 88 days. That's a little bit older, but still a billion units on there. So yeah, it's went down just a little bit, but I actually think we're in an okay supply demand situation, and that it's actually going to stay like close to 610, 620, something like that. I do think it's in the cards. Let's have a look at the pyrite chart here. Pretty much a similar situation, you know, managing to hold on at 12.2 ISK, wanting to go down just a little bit. So let's have a look at supply demand here. 900 million here, but a billion here, 200 million on these two, 40 million on the other ones. So I'm still seeing an okay situation. The supply is there as well, but the big demand numbers too. And so a further sideways movement at around the current price mark for pyrite, I think again it's in the cards, just like with titanium. Let's have a look here at Mexalon. You can see that corrected a little bit from its high, but again is holding on quite nicely above 60 ISK, which I think is not a bad price for Mexalon. 60.07 for the buyers, 61.15 for the sellers. Supply demand then, we've got a seller of 41 million, that's pretty recent, but we've got buy orders of 80 million and 83 million. They're a little bit older though, so this is a little a little bit of a dangerous situation. If the market chews through these without new demand coming in, we could see a little bit of a pullback in Mexalon, but I'm seeing okay numbers in general, and so I'm going to expect Mexalon to mirror pyrite and titanium, and I think there's a good chance for that one to be able to hold on above 60 ISK. But this is a little bit dangerous, you know, these two orders here being not so new. It's something to keep in mind. So there is a possibility, if the market chooses through this buy order as well, that Mexalon will start to correct. But I don't expect it just looking at the other HISIC minerals. Let's have a look here at Isogen. That's again pretty good here, managing to hold on at the tail end close to 126, 125, something like that. Even jumping up a little bit at the tail end here. So let's have a look at the current price. Yeah, 127 for sellers, 126 for the buyers, pretty much. We are seeing demand coming in though. So we are at a pretty high point on the chart, and here we do see 27 million coming in, 14 million for the buyers, so there is some demand as well. But here we have an opposite situation. We have an opposite situation to Mexalon, and so my assumption actually was a little bit bad, I think. No, it's the demand that could dry up for Mexalon, which could drive the price down. In Isogen we see a lot of supply coming in, which could again drive down the price. So in Isogen it's normal because we are at a high price point. In Mexalon it's a little bit of something just to keep in mind. If this starts to manifest in pyrite and titanium as well, then we could actually start to see the market shift towards a lower market. But at the moment, you know, I would still expect, we can see here pretty stable. The bigger supply is normal on a higher price. It's just Mexalon that's a little bit of an outlier with its supply demand situation. But overall I would say HISIC minerals looking decently stable for now. Let's move on to Noxium then. Maybe the chart is better. Yeah, that one is finally climbing a little bit out of its rut with a bottom close to 520 ISK. We're currently looking at 620. Supply demand 3 million here, 13 million here, a little bit more demand than supply, so Noxium could actually be on the way up slowly. This is nothing too drastic just yet, but there is some hope for Noxium, I would say. Let's have a look at what the Zydrine has been doing. Ooh, that's not good. Hitting 420 twice, maybe even 4 times in the last 6 months. It's now right back to that. Data points a little bit higher though, but yeah, Zydrine really close to a bottom. 465 and 431 for the buyers though, so the chart is lagging behind a little bit. But I do think that we can again see here 4 million, 1 million, 6.4 million. So supply is coming right in to fill in whenever Zydrine takes a jump up from its 420 to 440 bottom. And so yeah, we could actually see this a little spike materialize here that will be short-lived if I look at that supply coming in. Next up we've got Megasite here. Yeah, that's just holding below 800 million, again trending down slowly on the 5-day moving average. That's really not good for Megasite. It's below 800. Look at that, 777, so 777.81 ISK for the buyers, 777.82 ISK for a small sell order. So the margin is extremely thin. Megasite is on a very low price point at the moment, and there's just no sign that this is going to end anytime soon. But it could, of course. You know, Megasite historically, you can see where it comes from 6 months ago, pretty much double the price. And then a year ago, look at that, it's been able to hold on at 1600 ISK for quite a while. So this is pretty unusual. I've never seen Megasite this low, and certainly not in a sustained manner that it is right now. So those Nullsic minerals, yeah, they're really in a rut. The only one that's climbing out of it just a little bit is Noxium, but the other ones still not looking too good. Zydrine, a little bit of a jump up here, but again, I'm expecting that one to be short-lived because you can see supply come in right away. So pretty interesting mineral market, pretty good for the HISIC miners, not so good for the guys in Nullsic. I think maybe they're higher. Their higher refining yields are actually, yeah, causing the market to really shift in the price difference between HISIC minerals and Nullsic minerals. Interesting stuff. Moving on to Tech 1 chips, 940. Let's have a quick look here, but again, I'm expecting that this is just going to be a continuation of the pretty stable Tech 1 market so far. Here is the Caracal nicely on the 10.6 million. You can see that it was well, at 10.8 it corrected a little bit towards 10.4. Now it's going back up, but this is well within tolerance when it comes to variation in price for a caracal. So it's just up a little bit less supply, but it will come in pretty soon. Look at that, 78, 28, 47, trying to take advantage of caracals selling at 10.8 million. So we'll be back down towards 10.5 pretty soon, I think. Here is the Dominic's chart. Yeah, 20-day moving average taking off just a little bit off of 190 though. So 190 for a battleship is actually an okay price. So this is still not a complete trend breaker, although Dominic's are going for like 194 at the moment. 186 for the buyers. So so I do think you can still pick a Dominic's up for like 190 million. And that's actually a normal price. If you look at this 6-month chart, you had some cheaper Dominic's for a while during the last 6 months. Then you had a nice little spike up towards 200 million, and then a little bit of a correction, but holding on at 190 in general I think is pretty good and pretty normal. Here's the Drake chart then, starting at 47, ending at 48. So that's just a 1 million in between these two price points right here. It's nothing drastic at all. The variations look pretty healthy for a market. Whenever price goes up a little bit, supply comes in, and then the price goes down again. Here we've got actually a pretty big one from 49 to 43. That's 6 million. It's more than 10%, which is what we look for trades, but it's really only one big one over the course of 6 months, and for the rest I would say a pretty stable market here. Again, here is the Myrmidon correcting after its slightly sustained high close to 54 million. Now it's right back at 50 million, which I think is pretty good. 51 for the sellers, 44 for the buyers. A little bit more supply than demand here, still 19 of them coming in, 107 and 30 of them. So yeah, as you can see, that reaction did finally materialize right here. It managed to sustain at like 54 for a little bit, but then people said, all right, it's time to make some extra Myrmidons, bring those to the market, and then that correction bringing the price back to a normal median of like 50 million for a Myrmidon. It has manifested, although a little bit delayed. Here's the Rupture chart. That's a nice example of a very stable ship right here. It's been on 10 million for more time than it's been on anything else, even though again the chart here is only like a 1 million difference between these two price points on the scale right here. So very stable Rupture market, Take One market in general. The Talos just above 74 million, so 72 is probably its median, and yeah, I'm sorry, just a little bit less supply here. Prices taking off, 78 for the sellers, 72 for the buyers, but the reaction won't take long here again. I do think that it's just a matter of a few weeks, and then we'll see more Taloses coming to the market, bringing the price back towards its more normal price for like 72 is where I would actually put an average Talos at the moment. So yeah, not bad. You know, this Take One market, pretty good for people that love to just know what they need to spend on a ship, go out there and lose it, and then do it all over again. Let's move on to the Take Two market. 1330 sounds good, and yeah, this is where I prefer to do my trading or look for my trading opportunities. Look at the Basilisk here, not bad, starting at 165 at the end of November. Nice spike up to 200 million, so that's like 35 million. That's probably like 20% or something like that. That's much better if you want to do some trading, compared to like the 10%, which was the one big jump in 6 months for like the Drake. Here it is for the Basilisk. Then a correction back down to 165, and we're off to the races again towards 190. Currently 194 sellers for the Basilisk. That's awesome for trading. Look at that end here. All of this since the end of November. That's where some money is made and lost. That's where yeah, traders I think find their good opportunities. It's honestly in the Take Two market at the moment. Here is the Guardian chart. Look at those nice 3 big spikes over the last 6 months. A smaller one here at the tail end with a more stable situation at around 145. So it may be that the good times are over for a little bit, but it does show how many opportunities you've had in the Guardian market compared to like all of those Take One ships, which are much more stable. We're talking starting at 170, a bottom at 130, so that's 40 million difference on something that you had the opportunity to buy at 130. That's close to a third of the price, close to like 30% correction here, then back up to 165, so that's again 25% up at least, back down again, back up again, back down again with a new floor or a new bottom of 130 million here again, taking off. So this is where trade opportunities arise, when you see a violent chart with much bigger margin, much bigger scales as well here, going from 135 to 170. That's 5 million between every tick compared to 1 million in the Tech 1 market. Sure, you need some more money to be able to play in this market, but the opportunities for making a much larger profit are definitely there. Here is the Hound chart. Again, look at that, 1, 2, 3 nice little spikes here, another one at the tail end that is correcting. So currently for the Hounds, yeah, maybe wait or sell if you might be able to sell a few close to 21 million, but yeah, expect this to correct back. Let's have a quick look here. Sellers, no, actually sellers are already below 20 million, so buy orders at 18 million, sell opportunities at 21, 22 million, 23 even. For Hounds, this is how you make some money. That's pretty decent margin. Here's the Manticore chart again. Look at that, 28 to 21, back up to 25, back down to 20, then again to 19 even, and then here another top at 25. That's like 6 million easy on something that costs 20 million. That's a much better margin here. Unfortunately, it's also coming off of a selling opportunity. The Nemesis here, that one is taking off, but just a little bit slowly. Still, what are the sellers now? 23 million, pretty much an empty market. If you've been able to buy some Nemesis at 20 or even 19 million, it's a decent opportunity to make a profit of more than 10%. Here's the Nighthawk. Command chips used to be in vogue. You may be able to tell that from right here at the tail end, which is just before August, where you still had a little spike from 260 to 280. Not that big, the spikes used to be bigger, but somehow after the Alliance tournament, it's where I really would put the timing. Command chips have come into much higher prices and much more stable prices, and so unfortunately, yeah, command chips at the moment, we're talking investments of like 200 million, but if you can make 20 or 30% on such an investment, that's pretty damn awesome. And so I've been looking at the Nighthawk and the command chips for quite a while. Unfortunately, since last summer, that market has become much too stable for me, and so yeah, I only keep an eye on one of these, but it's not where I would try to do my trading at the moment. It's just too stable. Here is the Oneros then, a little bit less good than I'm sorry, than the Guardian and the Basilisk, but it's still okay. You know, you can still see a nice little spike from 210 million down to 160. That's a 50 million difference, 25%, something like that. The Oneros though, be a bit careful. It just had its redesign. Look at that, looks pretty damn cool. Whoa, very nice Oneros redesign, and so maybe a new bottom price where the Oneros will actually start to sweep up from is possible as well, just because of the redesign, although it's not like any of the stats have really changed, so it's possible that that's not going to happen either. But yeah, buying opportunity at 140 or 150, I think that is possible for an Oneros. And maybe quickly go for a 1 year chart. Look at that, you've got sell opportunities here at 180, 190, 200 billion even, here again at 180. So yeah, it's still decent, although it's only like a fifth of the price. That's still 20% in what I would call the less appealing logistics cruiser chart right here. So here is the Purifier chart then, again taking off from a sell opportunity. We'd like to see that close to like 19 or 18 million. Yeah, 18.2 for the buyer, so not bad. Purifier almost coming into buy opportunity, I think. And here is the Scimitar chart. Look at that, pretty good. 150 to 170, down to 140, up to 175, down to 140, up to 160, down to 135 almost, and now up here again. The opportunities in some of these logistic cruiser markets have been quite plentiful in the last 6 months. So yeah, just if you like to do your trading, keep an eye on this Tech 2 ship market in general. It's just I don't like the command ship market now. That's the one exception. Moving on to Tech 3 stuff. 1945 sounds good. We'll go over this decently quickly because I actually think yeah, the confessor has found its price, 55, 60 million, something like that. Actually up a little bit on the sell orders from last week, pretty interesting. But this is close to production costs, so that the only lesson we can learn from the confessor is that we can expect the other tech tree destroyers to find their price in a matter of weeks, maybe a little bit over a month at the most. The production lines are ready for them. And yeah, this just moves very quickly. People produce them very quickly, bring them to the market, and it causes the confessor to find its normal price point close to its production cost very quickly compared to some of the other ships that have been released previously. Here is the Legion chart, holding on at 210, something like that. Yeah, 215 for the sellers, 202 for the buyers. Pretty good. I'm not seeing huge supply coming in just yet for the Legion, so that's interesting. Not what I had expected. Here is the Loki chart. That one is finally coming off of a high of 260 million. Current prices 226 for the sellers, 200 million for the buyers. So the floor, people have accepted 200 million for a Tech 3 cruiser at the moment. But when prices are very high, like what it was with the Loki, supply does come in. You can see pretty big numbers here: 60, 14, 13, 42, 10, 30, 14, 15, and these last 4 or so are very recent. In fact, 3 of them are like less than an hour old or something like that. So the oversupply, it can still be, it is still a part of this market, but they do take opportunities apparently depending on which ship is in a very high situation. So the Loki was extremely high, 260, compared to the Legion that was already at like 210 last week. So yeah, supply coming in for the Loki. Here is the Proteus chart then, 204 to 200 million, so that's probably just sluggy. Yeah, oh, look at that, actually correcting quite a lot from like 240 even last week or something like that. So is that huge supply? That's decent supply. Look at that, all of this 89 days, so 89 days, 29 days, all of this less than a day old. All of this, that's big supply coming in, although it does seem like there's a lot of competition between the people bringing the supply, but that's like 2 pages of supply for the Proteus, causing the price to go down pretty drastically. In fact, we've got sellers at 205 million already. So yeah, I'm a little bit surprised by the Legion, although it's holding on at 214. I'm not seeing the big supply coming in here. Loki and Proteus definitely there. And here is the Tengu chart then, also going down towards 200 million. Supply definitely there. Look at that, 18, 19, 43, 10 are the latest orders that were here like 6 minutes ago, 11 minutes ago, and 30 minutes ago. That's incredible. Look at the entire page of the sell orders. That's quite a lot of them coming in. So the Tengu has been coming down off of its high due to the oversupply. So it is still possible. The Legion, I'm not sure why that one has not responded just yet, but yeah, the Tech 3 reality of there is more being produced than the market can actually absorb at the moment, except maybe for big alliances that try to take advantage of very low prices. It's just a part of this market at the moment, and it's going to be interesting to see if the releases of the other Tech 3 destroyers can manifest spikes just like we've seen right here, because this is pretty much in line with the confessor release though. When the confessor came out, maybe a lot of production had to go towards that, a lot of effort had to go towards that, causing supply to actually dry up a little bit. A few good buys from some nullstick entities, and you've got some nice spikes up to 260 million for some of these Tech 3 ships, some of these Tech 3 cruisers. It's going to be interesting to see if this is going to happen again when the other Tech 3 destroyers come out, although I think the effect might just be mitigated a little bit by the fact that a lot of people now know what to expect when some of these ships will drop. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff so far. The extra material, someone's asked for fuel materials, so I'm going to start that with leg 1. I'm going to look at the PI fuel materials, and that's like 25.40 for that. So I need to go to planetary interaction, or nope, looks like I need to go for manufacturing materials. Not ice products, I'll do that another time, but if I'm not mistaken, it's mostly here. Here is the coolant chart. Whoa, nice, that's actually not bad. I would put the average on these last 6 months at 7,800, which is pretty normal, I think, for coolants. At the moment, though, 8,600 to 8,800. Sellers, almost 9,000 for coolants. So this is a planetary commodity used in fuels. We've also seen that Caldari fuel blocks are up quite a bit in the last week, so this could be the reason. Look at that, PI materials, definitely up from their average in the last 6 months. I would, yeah, 7,800, 8,000, normal price for a coolant. We're looking at 9,000 at the moment, which is quite a little bit higher. Let's see if I can find the other ones. Is it enriched uranium? I do think so. Again, a chart that's mirroring that upswing after a bit of a correction, but it's not that much higher than where it comes from in the enriched uranium market. Interesting. We also have, let me see, maybe I should just quickly grab this to remind me. Industry, robotics, coolants, mechanical parts, and then oxygen. So robotics, mechanical parts, and oxygen are the ones I still need to find. Let me see here. Refined, we should find mechanical parts here. Let's have a look at that chart. Yeah, mechanical parts actually corrected from a normal price of 7,400, and it's back there. So that's interesting. Although, let me quickly retouch the coolant one. Yeah, much less of a correction in coolants, and this one taking off. That's interesting. And kind of weird that there are so many differences between a few of these planetary materials here. We have some specialized, I think, is just, no, actually that's not true. It's in RAS where we will find oxygen. No, maybe just process then. Yeah, here we go. This is the oxygen. Oh my god, what the hell is this? That's pretty unusual too. Oxygen normally holding at like 320, 340. Oxygen going for 450 even on the buy orders. Interesting. What the hell happened to the oxygen market? If someone can tell it, can put it in the comments, that would be very helpful. But yeah, both oxygen and coolants already putting some upward pressure on the fuel prices in general, so that's interesting. And let's maybe have a look at the hardest one to produce. Is that going to be a specialized one? No, actually we'll just go through the blueprint. I should have done that, really. That would have been a lot more efficient. So you can just go through the blueprint and then press view market details, of course. Yeah, robotics taking off as well. Look at that. Normal median price I put at just below 60,000 currently. No more robotics on the market. 76,000. Has something been announced or something that I've missed? Because this is really weird. Yeah, robotics, if you can produce them or bring them to the market, if you have some reserves, this is the time to do so. I think we just stumbled upon something, but I'm not sure what. I'm gonna have to try to do some research. If you have any insights of this, put it in the comments. That was a very good suggestion. I have no idea what's happening in some of these planetary interaction markets, but at least 3 of the ones related to fuels, so robotics, coolants, and oxygen, are pretty much off to the races. This is kind of weird. Very good suggestion. Something is definitely up here. If you have any insights, feel free to share them with me. So that's it for this Eve Talk, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.